It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of Remark, where we will actually dissect every single Hallmark Christmas movie through the holidays. I am Kevin Regan. With me is Kristin Finger.
Hey everybody, we are very excited to go on this journey with you. We did want to let you guys know that we are not at all sponsored by Hallmark. We're not sponsored by Hallmark. We don't work for Hallmark. We're happy at the growth and change that they thankfully look like they're stepping towards. But we also still enjoy simple, silly movies like these. They ease the heart, they ease the mind, and they make love look impossible.
And love is definitely not impossible, especially in this first film, Jingle Bell Bride.
Oh my goodness, Kev. I knew going into this one that it would be something quite special. Now, we watched Jingle Bell Bride this weekend, and oh my word, a wedding planner, Jessica Perez, played by Julie Gonzalo, travels to a remote town in Alaska to find a rare flower for a celebrity client and is charmed by the small town she visits during Christmas, as well as the handsome local who is played by the gorgeous Ronnie Rowe Jr., who has helped her through her, her journey to Alaska. That is what Jingle Bell Bride is. Now, we have two very important guests this evening that also watched Jingle Bell Bride. So first we have Briana Gause. Let's say hello to Briana. And we've got David Dritsas. Amazing. So Briana, to start off, oh my goodness, have you ever watched a Hallmark holiday movie ever?
I have not. This was my first Hallmark holiday movie.
Yay!
Amazing. So would you watch one again?
Yeah.
You would?
I would. Honestly, like the little previews kept popping up for the next movies, and I was like, I would tune in. I would watch another.
Amazing. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Now, David, have you watched a Hallmark movie before?
Well, not in full. But I have watched like minutes of them, like channel surfing. But this is my first like full, finish to end one.
Amazing. So what you're telling me is that none of the ones before this one fully captured your attention enough to stay for the full time.
I think we all have learned something, that the Hallmark Channel loves to run commercials.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like a cord cutter. Like I don't watch television with commercials much, so that pushes me over the edge a little bit.
Oh, it's insane. And the pop-ups have gotten far, far worse. So it's like, here's a show, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I'm convinced that like one of the reasons to watch a Hallmark movie is just to find out what another Hallmark movie is going to be.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised that like SAG hasn't stepped in or something and said, stop doing that. People are acting on the screen and you're constantly putting stuff up. But
yeah, you get like second billing because your movie popped up for long enough and you have scenes and you're like, are they in that film? Does that count?
I know that Christmas Chateau is going to be the next one because they wouldn't stop putting it up.
Also, my favorite thing is that it's catered definitely to a particular type of audience. Therefore, the commercials are definitely for the ages of a certain age and over.
Yeah.
I don't need life insurance quite yet, but boy, do I feel like I need it now because they sold me on it.
Well, it's interesting. I noticed that like the commercials in the beginning were more for like online retail and Wayfair and all that kind of stuff. And then later on, it got to be like more like, drug commercials and this and that. And I'm like, oh my God, I think they assume that the older generation will stick through it and the younger generation might tune out after the first half.
Yeah. Or they figure you're drinking enough hot chocolate that your kidneys are starting to fail as you're watching them. So they're like, now hook them in.
Get them. All right, so I want to talk about Julie Gonzalo, who plays our lead, Jessica. She also has been in numerous other Hallmark films, such as one of my favorites, Pumpkin Pie Wars. It's one of their fall harvest films. I think she's actually not a bad actor. How did you guys feel about her acting?
I think in general, she seemed like a regular person and like believable.
Mhm.
Just a lot of times I'm just like, why are you making all of these faces? I feel like you're generally confused by small towns and I don't understand.
I wrote down, hold on, I got to read this, Briana. I wrote down, two things. One, on her acting. And I think she's fine too. She's very like, everybody. I love that she's got that little scar. I want to know her scar story. But I don't know if they directed her to this, but I said, someone once told her that she should only do hand movements down here and never go above the shoulder. Like she's always like this.
Yeah.
And then I said, I wonder if was at the front of every third line of her script. And then I said, she's genuinely surprised about everything that happens ever outside of the city of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all new to her. It's all new to her, which is amazing. Kevin, what did you think of her performance in this one? Because I think you've probably seen her in some of her other.
Yeah.
She can Flip That Romance, The Sweetest something. I can't even read my own handwriting.
You don't need
Falling
to.
for Vermont. That's a good winter one.
Great one. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't feel they gave her a lot to work with, especially early, where they gave her, it's the Taming of the Shrew character, and it's like, really? Like, aren't we past that? And she did get past it, but there was a moment where I was almost ready to check out mentally in it until Ronnie Rowe Jr. showed up. And then I was like, he's got to have a terribly hurt back because he started carrying everything. Oh, yeah. And, not to shift away from Jessica Perez, but the character of Matt, who I never caught his last name to the point where I don't know that he had a last name.
I think he did because it was, Aunt Mary, was it Holland? No, that might be Christmas Chateau.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. I didn't think she was bad, so I didn't think she was able to pull it down. But then it made the entire film feel very lopsided to me because here she is, this very angsty individual, because obviously she's on this mission of having to get a flower that, by the way, does not exist. So if you want to go looking for it, the Jingle Bell flower, there are flowers that are titled Jingle Bell, and there's one that's loosely based on that. It is widely available in all of the Southwest of America. So there's no reason she would go to Alaska for that flower.
You know what else isn't real, Kevin?
What's that?
Topeka, Alaska.
No, it is not.
A real place.
No. But how could it be? Because my wife even pointed this out. They have a population of 112, totally fine. And this gorgeous carved wooden sign that anytime, if Matt leaves that town, we have a problem. They have to recut the whole sign.
The dark side of the story is no one has babies there. They're all sterile.
You have to get permission from Mayor Wilson, which we'll talk about that in a moment, but that's why you're not actually allowed to kiss under mistletoe. So we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Right.
You have to call in a town favor because the whole town runs on favors.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that was also quite impressive is when Jessica called and was like, hi, can I talk to the mayor?
Yeah.
Got her right away. No problem getting right. I was shocked by that. But then not when I met the mayor. I feel like the mayor would want to take all calls.
Yeah.
I was surprised she had anyone answering her phone when I met her. I was like, she answers her own phone. She's easygoing.
I want to continue talking about Ronnie Rowe Jr., a.k.a. Matt. And it is. I wrote it down. It's Matt Holding. That's his last name.
Holding. Yeah, that's right.
It also took me a while to realize what his first name was until maybe halfway through the film. So I wouldn't be surprised if he never had a last name.
Yeah. That happens often where usually they say the name 4 times up front and then they don't say it at all. And if they don't say it 4 times up front, they never name that character in a Hallmark film. And that does happen.
I did really enjoy the introduction of Matt's character.
With the cookies?
With the cookies. That bit was adorable. I really liked it. I also really liked just his lean work. Like, listen, part of my caliber of these guys is like their swagger. Like if they've got it, he had it. He had he was so relaxed and not like, "Hi, I'm a guy." He was like, "I'm just this guy and this is my life." And I liked it.
I agree. I feel like that's what I loved about the two of them is they just seem like regular people. Like I feel like at first the whole film I was ready for it to be really cheesy and corny, and then I was just like, I buy this. I'm really into this just like lovely rom-com we have here.
Yeah. Dritsas, what are your thoughts on?
I liked him. He looks so familiar to me, and then so I looked him up on IMDb, and I was like, oh, I've seen him. So I've seen him in like a bunch of things, and then he was also in. I think his most recent thing is he's never been like a starring role in anything huge, but he was on Star Trek Discovery. If you guys watch that at all, he definitely has that like everyman kind of look. I mean, everyone's dressed to the nines in this thing, of course.
Oh, always.
But, it was kind of funny because I looked at it and I went, oh, they're like, someone in the thing is like, we need Chadwick Boseman, but one we can afford. So they were like, that guy. Because he totally has that that
charisma,
like swagger, like a similar charm about him. But I thought, I actually was like, oh man, this actor, I feel like this definitely must have been a good paycheck because I feel like he was better than the movie.
Yes, 100%. And this was his first Hallmark movie. So I would be very curious to see if he does another one.
Yeah, and I'm certain it was not a big paycheck, but they do get residuals. So that's the.
Yeah, well,
I'm sure...
I mean, and I think they air these suckers for like years.
Oh yeah, and all year round.
Totally get it.
Yep.
How did you guys feel about their chemistry through the whole movie?
I felt like he could have chemistry with like a stick. And again, that's no commentary on her. He just like, when he was on camera, it lit the room and he could have chemistry with anyone. And he did. Like all the different people he interacted with in the town, there are always these amazing moments. Although I do want to point this out really fast. He has a nephew that that comes to visit, stay with his grandmother. And Jessica interacts with the nephew and works with them on the piano. I don't know that there's ever a point where Matt ever actually even says a word to his nephew. And I could be totally wrong on that.
He did. It was when he was like, oh no, wait, that was her. Because he was like, credit to a little kid acting in these movies, but he was a bit much. Can I say that about a child?
I think so, because that's the problem with any kid actor in a Hallmark film. I don't think there's enough time. And that kind of goes to, Dave the Hands too. I don't think there's enough time to correct those sorts of things because they film them so fast. So for a kid, you get way too much or you don't get anything at all. And I've seen one or two kids that are really good and you're like, that kid must have a drinking problem because they're good.
There was also that weird moment where they go to this town festival and you see the kids putting on that little show and you only see like the very end of it. And they're doing this like robotic Stepford Wives kids thing. And then it's gone. Like we have no idea what they were doing. Everyone's like, yay! Also, I do. Couple, she and he, Matt, and what was her name? The lead's name again? Jessica show up. They're like, oh, that was so good. And I was like, you just caught the last 1 minute.
Yeah.
David, I can tell you exactly what they're doing because the backstory of these Jingle Bell flowers, which is, we know, made up, is that she said the history, or I think Aunt Mary said, the history of the town is that the gold diggers would go mining or
prospectors. They call them prospectors.
Gold diggers would go down by the stream and look for gold. And guess what grew along those
Jingle Bell flower.
So they brought them back.
Little flower, which by the way is awful. It's not awful, but you're like, that's not a bouquet flower.
No.
And something I noticed, two things, is like when she shows up and Matt's like, yeah, you can have a couple flowers, and she's like, no, I need like a lot of flowers. And I'm like, wait a minute, was none of this negotiated in advance? Like, she is really bad at her job. Yeah. Because, like, if you were going to fly that many miles, like thousands
you fly to Anchorage, and then you take that puddle jumper into Pisa or whatever it's called. Yeah.
You might be given a quantity. Just think,
I think she even told her boss that because her boss was like, do they know how many we need? And she was like, no, I just hinted at it a little bit.
Yeah, by the way, the boss was cracking me up. All I kept thinking was, this lady is like, lives in New York and has a coke problem, you know what I mean? And I was like, she gets her own movie and it's called Getting Over the Hills of Snow. Yeah. And it's like,
I like that. Yeah.
It's like Love in Rehab. I'm telling
like
you.
it. That's a Lifetime show, not a Hallmark show, Dave. We don't. Yeah.
Briana, what did you think of their chemistry throughout the movie? Do you agree with Kevin that he could just play against a stick?
I do, because I feel like when he initially was like, I'm not here for it, then I was like, it's not going to happen, because he said it's not going to happen. And the second that he was like, I think I'm kind of feeling her, I was like, well, then I guess it's going to happen. He said so.
Yeah. I think it was definitely in his hands. She had no control over this situation whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also would like to bring up Rebecca. Rebecca is her coworker.
I don't get it. I don't like. That's a whole other movie.
Well, I'll tell you this. Did you notice that the signature color of every villain in that movie was blue?
I thought you were going to say blonde. And I was like...
Blonde, too. Blonde and blue. That's true. That's a good point. Blonde, and they wear blue. Rebecca wears blue like almost every scene that she's in.
Yeah.
And the boss kind of does, too. And I was like, oh, blue's the evil color for the Christmas holiday movie.
Which is interesting, because it seems like a neutral. Like, you I don't know, maybe you put her in black. So
but it's the only color we don't decorate for Christmas. That's all. You know what I mean?
Like
you do a little bit now, but it's not the traditional.
Yeah. I literally wrote in my notes, and I don't like usually referring to women in this way, sneaky bitch.
Ooh, wow. Sneaky. How dare you? Yeah, but you knew it from the get-go. I actually had a problem with her in the very beginning because she shows up with her candy canes, and then Jessica even said, did you make these? And she's like, well, I had nothing else to do because I was on like a conference call, so I figure why not? And I'm thinking, okay, a couple things. One, who makes candy canes? Two, it doesn't have a hook on it, which means it's a swizzle stick, not a candy cane. I had a problem with that. I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will say she did sneak up on me, though. Like, I thought she was very irrelevant until she just, like, slid her card into this woman's hands. And I was like, how could you? Like, I felt betrayed.
To Renee's hands, the pop singer.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I get it. We're on a budget, Hallmark. I get it. But if you're going to have someone sing in one of these movies, it has to be Leanne Rimes.
Well, that I agree with. Or dare I say good? Like if she's supposed to be a pop singer and she was singing Joy to the World, I believe, or I forget what she was singing when we first see her. It was not good. And my initial thought was, that's okay if she's a pop singer because auto-tunes will fix it. But
we were hearing the rough take, the raw footage. We didn't get the final thing. I also would love to mention, and I don't know if anyone else picked up on this woman, when Jessica was announced, of course, Jingle Bell Princess. I mean, we knew it was coming, right?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you didn't know it was coming.
Yeah, but it came so early, and it also was like,
it did.
Okay, like that. It didn't seem like that important. Like it just was like, you're the Jingle Bell Queen. And also, I'm thinking like there must have been 4 other people in that town who were like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wanted to see like a cutaway to this one woman who's wanted it for every year. And this
was. You didn't. I have that down. It literally says, woman looked pissed. Like she'd lived there her whole life and never got to be princess.
And this woman just comes into town, beats up our vending machines, is making Matt do every single chore for her, and then she becomes the princess, the Christmas
She
princess.
doesn't even carry her own tiara. Like everywhere she goes, somebody else has to recrown her. And I'm just like, who else is carrying this tiara around? Just because she does not care.
Well, she doesn't care. And like that spoiler to the end, she takes it off, puts it on a rock and leaves, and nobody ever picks it up again, which means that tradition is officially over in Topeka, Alaska. So we saw in the very first Hallmark Christmas movie this season, we've already seen holiday royalty. Yeah, it's the Christmas princess. Maybe she doesn't have a castle, but it is a trope of Hallmark Christmas movies. And because it is a trope, we would like to present Hallmark for Hallmark.
This present day I decree that if thou hast been valorous boys and girls this year, Thou shall hang thy stockings by the fire, not only to strieth those folks, but also that the festival visitor Santa might bringeth such gifts as toys and other sweet things, delicious and succulent. Ah, yea. However, if thou hast misbehaveth, then those dram ones shall take nothing more than coal. I wisheth thee the blessings of a Merry Christmas and happiest of future days.
Amazing. There was also a moment where they were decorating. We had the lovely decorating of the tree, of course.
This is in the house.
Oh,
In the
you
house,
mean
in the
tree
house,
that was
correct.
clearly artificial? Like she's like,
They all are.
just cut it down, and I was like, I can see where it goes together.
That was also a moment that made me mad at Jessica when he was like, all right, I'm gonna go get this tree. And she's like, I'm gonna stay here. Like, you can't go, like, that was just weird. But then she started getting better. But like, even when the woman came over and was like, here's our pamphlet for all of this. And she was like,
Yeah. Don't you take it, fold it up, put it in your pocket, and just be like,
just take it. Someone made that pamphlet. This woman's literal life probably surrounds that festival and handing out those pamphlets. And when he was like, what's his name? Ben, the tree guy, was like, we got a new one. She's like, hup, hup, and like grabs all her stuff and like, oh man. As two viewers who don't often watch Hallmark films, there is a very amazing thing that happens when someone...
It can happen. It doesn't always.
They go and get a step stool to put the star or a high ornament on a tree. And, Kevin!
Well.
They all call them tree toppers, which I've never called in my life.
Put it on top of the tree.
But anyway, they usually have the woman up on the ladder and then she falls into the arms and it's the almost kiss moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited because some guy literally said, I'll go grab the step stool. And I was like,
it's going to happen. It didn't. They cut immediately to commercial.
Nothing.
I just wanted to say this one thing since you mentioned commercial breaks.
Yeah.
The thing that blew my mind was that nobody answers questions. They just make the weirdest faces and we cut to commercial. And it feels like the simplest questions of just like, are you coming with us? And somebody's like, and I'm like, just say yes or no. What is the face? We're gone.
Yeah, a huge lack of decision making goes into these Hallmark movies by the characters.
I will never not see that now, Briana. Thank you. I will. I think I already saw it, but now I'll really see it.
One of the things that was weird to me was he wore that really nice suit that he had when he was showing off the boutonniere so she could take a picture. And that's not the suit he ends up wearing to the dance. And I know he wore it the year before, but he even said, I never get to wear it. And then he wears something totally different. It's like...
Yeah, but this movie, and I'm sure this is a classic thing in Hallmark movies, I mean, everyone looks like they fell out of an LL Bean catalog.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, so it's constant costume changes. It's like for no good reason. Everyone has some kind of neck attire, some kind of scarf, something that they're all impeccably like coiffed. It just is like, I was like, this is like the most affluent little town in Alaska I've ever seen.
Jessica, she didn't have any luggage and she went to the general store to buy a jacket and boots and said, you could borrow my aunt's clothes. And then everything was form fitting and was a brand new outfit for the rest of the week. I was like, where did these clothes come from?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that general store looked like a little gift shop in like Brynathan or something. It was like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, get shampoo there and everything.
And also, like, those boots were her size. Like, she just grabbed the boots, sat down, and I was like,
how lucky.
Yeah. They also are not good winter boots.
No.
So he's like, you're gonna need them for the snow, and I was like, not those boots.
We did get an almost kiss, and so a big thing in Hallmark movies, if you're a novice, is nobody. If you are a married couple, like an older couple that don't play into the plot, you sometimes can kiss in the movie, sometimes. But nobody else is allowed to kiss, and the main couple cannot kiss until the very end. That's just the rule of Hallmark. So the scene where the pilot sees the mayor under the mistletoe, and Matt even says, there she is, he goes off, and then they like wrap arms or something. you knew they weren't going to kiss. And there's a moment where Matt and Jessica are on the dance floor and about to kiss, and Jessica's phone rings. That will always happen. They cannot kiss until the end of the movie.
That brings me to, Kevin, can we go to my favorite segment, please? Can we talk about our Hallmark holiday hunk objectification?
Chris, why don't you objectify this fine fella?
My grading system is based off of the character themselves. I'm not talking about them as the human, that the actor, like the actor.
How kind.
Only grading them in this film.
Yeah.
I'm going off sex appeal and looks, and of course, slight acting ability. But was it believable? I'm going to give mine last. This is going to be 1 out of 10 mistletoes. I'm going to go to 10 mistletoes means that I would kiss them at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Or just like forever. I'd keep them. I don't know. Kevin, 1 out of 10 mistletoes. What do you rate Ronnie Rowe Jr.?
I love Ronnie Rowe Jr. Under your criteria, he had the charger that was definitely needed. He took her to see the Northern Lights, very important, even though the next night she would look at this little candle display and say, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Weird. You just saw the Northern Lights. I'm going to give him a solid 8. And I'm shocked I'm giving him that high right out of the box.
Right out of the gate.
Yeah.
That's fine. Dritsas, I'm going to go to you. What would you give him?
I think because he, again, for all the reasons Kevin said, I'm going to give him, I would have given him an 8. However, at the end of the movie, he shows up at the church at the wedding, and I was like, you had to do a serious amount of stalking to find out where that wedding was, where that church was.
Yeah.
Knowing that, I was like, that's a little creepy. So I'm going to knock him down to a 7 just for the stalkerish tendencies at the end.
That's fair.
Important part, too, is that was a high-profile wedding with security that he somehow got around. So
he paid someone off. Because we all know, as Briana said, that town works on favor. So he knows how to get
someone knows something. Yeah, absolutely.
And Briana, what would you give him?
It's funny because I feel like I'm combining these two comments here, because if 10 just means I would kiss him at the end of the Hallmark movie, then he would have, that's an 11 right there. I think.
Right, yeah. I guess that's a bad, it's just more of a 1 to 10. Yeah.
But I feel like I agree. Like you just uplifted your whole life to come move to New York to be with this girl that you met for a week. And so that puts him at the 8 for me. Because I'm like, this would probably work out. You guys would be a lovely couple for maybe a month, if not more.
Yeah.
8.
Briana feels like he's going to run back to Aunt Mary. I understand. It could happen.
I think so. I mean, well, if Aunt Mary dies, he has to go rebuild a sign, the wooden sign. So,
well, if he leaves, he has to rebuild the sign. So a lot of sign making. Yeah.
So this isn't going to shock you. I mean, wow, he's hot. Okay. Sex appeal. Yes, please. That like tightly trimmed beard around his jawline had me at hello. The way he leaned against that vending machine, meow, 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 meow. The way the man wears a suit, thank you so much. Also the way that he like respected his family, his aunt. He
never talked to his nephew, but that's fine.
Never. He doesn't like kids. I don't like kids. I gave him an 8 as well. An 8 as well. And that's me coming right out of the gate. That's high. Yeah. Because we have 40 more dudes to read.
That's Tyler Hines level. Kristin, this wasn't the only movie that Hallmark showed on Saturday night. There was another movie on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
That's right, Kev. We got to watch Christmas Tree Lane. Now, this one was something quite special, but we're not going to go too deep into it. We've got very, very special people in a segment called, Kevin?
Winter Wonder Whodunit.
Welcome to our first episode of Winter Wonder Whodunit. Who exciting. Anyway, I'm Aubrie, and this is my co-sleuth, Shannon. Shannon, are you there? I didn't see you there.
I didn't see you there.
Delightful.
Tonight we're reviewing the first Hallmark Channel Christmas mystery, Christmas Tree Lane.
It had it all. Intrigue,
Ice skating.
a handsome chiseled jaw, and a peacoat.
But don't take it from us. Take it from our recap.
We open on Meg in the shop her father owns on Christmas Tree Lane.
Dun dun dun.
Not yet.
Oh.
She's teaching her star pupil a song, and she says she almost has it. The student asks Meg when she's going to perform again, and she said she stopped performing to teach.
How mysterious.
Wait for it.
Ooh.
Meg leaves the store, goes to get a plain coffee, where none other than a handsome young man is asking for a fancy dessert coffee with sprinkles. He gets some whipped cream on his face, and they laugh.
Ooh. I think I can solve it. Does he ask her to join him? And she says yes.
Elementary, my dear Watchan.
Wait, was I right?
Yes. No sooner does she mention that she owns the music store, and then she leaves her hat on a bench.
Ah, something missing qualifies as a mystery.
Not if it's immediately returned.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, Meg's dad tells her Christmas Tree Lane is going to be torn down to build shared tech workspaces.
Ah, gross. Ah.
Nate is at corporate with a stack of plans to catch up on. He moved back to town to work for his dad. Quick, Shan, do the red-headed man who pops into Nate's office.
Shannon DeVido, auditioning for the part of Redhead Guy.
We're happy to have you back at corporate, especially your dad.
Bully, Shan. Okay, back to the chisel jaw Nate. He brings Meg's hat to her at the store, and she shows him a record of the choir they heard singing at the coffee truck. When he says he doesn't have a record player, she hands him one and says he can borrow it. Her best friend Emma sees him and says she likes this guy.
Dun dun dun.
That wasn't really a mystery, though.
Oh, can I guess the mystery?
Yes! Honestly, I'm a bit befuddled as to what the mystery is myself.
Is it that it couldn't make the cut for the actual Hallmark Christmas movie, so it got bumped?
Probably. Anywho, maybe the mystery is when Meg holds a town hall to figure out how to save Christmas Tree Lane, with her best friend Emma frantically writing behind her on a dry erase board. Ooh, you be the townspeople and I'll be Meg.
Okay.
Good.
Hot chocolate stand?
Eh,
A Christmas tree decorating contest?
sounds okay.
A village for Santa photos?
Ooh, I'm Meg now.
Okay.
How about a Christmas concert like the town used to do every year?
Yay!
Pew, pew.
Wait, why did they stop? Is that the mystery?
Nah, I don't think so. But there does just so happen to be an outdoor ice skating rink nearby, and Ned asks Meg to join him. They laugh, they skate, and then Ned sees a beautiful woman who he used to date.
Haha, that rhymes.
The ex-girlfriend didn't know he was back in town. She's a big lawyer, and she invites them to the generic Irish bar for drinks with the old gang. Nate invites Meg along, but she says no. He tells her she did great at skating, and then leaves.
Is the mystery that Nate is just a bunch of dogs in a peacoat?
Which brings me to the next plot point. Signed to save Christmas Tree Lane and gives Meg money for the record player. She sighs and says it's because he knows about Christmas Tree Lane. He'll help save it, and his mom works at St. Jude's Hospital so they can help wrap toys for a toy drive.
Dun dun dun! Meg meets Nate's mom, and she said she's heard she's the gift wrap whisperer. The real mystery is how that line made it to the movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. But you left out that Nate's mom hasn't seen him this excited about Christmas in a while.
Wow.
And that's how his dad used to be.
Oh, that's not important.
Is it though? It might be.
No.
Meg has to pick out a tree for the store window. Nate offers to help. The secret to a great tree is a strong foundation.
Sure.
When they're at the store with Meg's dad, Meg's not sure what to decorate the tree with.
The mystery of the tree decorations is solved when Nate asks Meg's father if he has old records and sheet music. He says they have boxes full of it. Who would have guessed? That can't be the real mystery.
Yeah. Ooh, and that goes into a dress montage. Meg's friend suggests she buy a blue dress that would look gorgeous on her. Meg immediately asks, but where would I wear it? And she says, I don't know, a holiday party? Meg doesn't have time for holiday parties.
Ugh.
He has to save Christmas Tree Lane.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, wait. We should have saved that because Nate finds out that it's his dad's business that is going to destroy Christmas Tree Lane.
Okay, wait, do it again.
Okay, so Nate finds out that it's his dad's business that is going to destroy Christmas Tree Lane.
Dun, dun, dun. He's heartbroken because he's just been hanging out and doing Christmas things on Christmas Tree Lane the entire time instead of working.
Yeah, like the whole time. She finds out that it's his dad's company and she's devastated. But Nate swears he'll help her save Christmas Tree Lane.
So Nate drafts up a plan and gives Meg a tiny wood cutout with a draft on it.
Aww.
She puts it on the piano and sings a song.
Oh my god, there's nothing mysterious about a wood cutout, but it is adorable.
I have questions.
Next, Nate goes to talk to his dad to get him to see how special Christmas Tree Lane is. But his dad says Christmas Tree Lane stops bringing in revenue after January, and it's not worth saving.
Oh, my favorite part is next. Meg sees Nate's dad eating donuts on a bench.
Oh yeah.
And he reveals that he used to love this place as a kid. She says the town needs this street, but he thinks it's time for a change.
Shan, we're coming up to the end. Did we figure out the mystery?
Yeah, I don't think there's any mystery.
Maybe it'll be in this next part. Okay, next is the big Christmas concert that they've been talking about this whole entire movie. Meg wears her blue dress, and Nate convinces his parents to come. Just as Meg's star pupil gives a beautiful performance, the gas street lights that haven't been lit in decades automatically turn on.
Well, that's it. The case of the unlit street lamp.
Is that a thing?
Mm.
Meg wasn't going to sing, but is moved to sing the newest song she's written called Christmas Will Never End.
That sounds like a horror film.
It's an original by Alicia Witt, and yes, also a horror film. Nate's dad agrees to Nate's plan to save Christmas Tree Lane, and Nate and Meg finally kiss while people stand around them and clap. The end.
Yeah. Wait, was that the mystery the whole time? Will they or will they not fall in love?
I guess what greater mystery is there than love, I guess? I don't know.
Was there like a murder and stolen jewels at least?
Maybe in the next one.
Oh, one can hope. Well, until next time.
Winter Wonder, Whodunit? Out.
So, Kristin, we saw in our Winter Wonderland Whodunit segment that Christmas Tree Lane featured the great Andrew Walker, who is a perennial figure in Hallmark Christmas movies. We are going to need a Hallmark holiday hunk objectification, an H3O from you right here.
Listen, I understand that Andrew is beloved by many. Kevin himself loves Andrew, but here's the thing. I judge off character, swagger, sex appeal.
Wow.
I gave Andrew a 4.
Whoa!
I did not like his character. I thought he was so simple. I thought he was so just like, I'm here to please everybody, but my daddy and this. I didn't believe him. I didn't like him. If that guy would have started talking to me when I was getting my goddamn coffee in the morning, I'd be like, goodbye.
Yeah. You wouldn't have given him a free record player is what you're saying.
No, I wouldn't have given him a free record player. I wouldn't have gone ice skating with him. I wouldn't have even let my friend walk away from me when I met him in the store.
Hold on to her arm. You don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Here's the thing. He's not my type. He's a little, I
I would have given him a 6 personally, but that's fine. Your 4 is noted. It's noted in our book.
Where does your 6 come from? Do you think he's a good-looking guy?
I do. I think he's a good-looking guy. I do like his kindness. I like that he's trying to please his father, but at the same time, he doesn't agree with him. He does back down and, turn into a bit of a coward before telling Alicia Witt's character, when he realizes, which was an hour into the film.
Yeah.
Weird thing, but regardless, no, I didn't mind him. I like him. 6.
Here's another thing. He may have gotten a 6 from me if he had a beard in this one. He's had a beard in others. He's just too Abercrombie and Fitch model for me.
Yeah, well, most of those models get a 6. So Chris, in Jingle Bell Bride, we saw some things that we see in many of the Hallmark Christmas films. One of the first thing was they built snowmen.
It was brilliant, and it was her idea because it was a childhood thing.
Yeah.
I love that she brought something finally to the table besides her needs. She brought an idea, and it was successful. And I love that playfulness, and you got to see the two of them actually doing an activity together that neither of them had an upper hand in. I like when that happens. I
like that too. It definitely showed kind of her humanizing her and making her more likable in that moment, without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, and then they made the snow angels later on.
Yep. Yeah.
Come on, when they linked hands and then fell backwards. Oh, I want to do that.
They also did, which is a huge Hallmark. I think it might be in every film. Obviously, we know the kiss is going to be in every film, but also the tree lighting. There's a tree lighting, a big tree lighting. Not just we plug in our Christmas tree, which they did that as well, but they do the town tree lighting, which that made her very unlikable because she wasn't paying attention to it. However, it was the most underwhelming tree lighting that Hallmark has ever done, where it was just lights in a dinky little tree.
Yeah, it was a little anticlimactic, and I think she knew. And she was like, I've been to Rockefeller Center. I've seen a tree. This ain't a tree.
Yep.
I'm going to text my people. Something that I don't think we need to do anymore is this whole thing. Is this thing where we're looking for a signal for something?
It doesn't work.
It's
not up there. Yeah.
Take it out of movies. I'm tired of it.
All of them. Yeah.
It's old.
You don't have a signal, you're not going to get a signal. The last thing, which is a new trope, it's been around for a long time, but it's a new one I finally realized literally this weekend, so this year, is the idea that there seems to be a group of ladies that dress the lead female character, or they buy her the outfit, and it actually happened in all 4 of the Hallmark movies this weekend. So I just want to track these things as we go through the holiday season.
Yeah.
It is very, very awesome to see those things. And then the last thing is occupations. I'm always obsessed with what are their occupations. In this one, we had a wedding planner and everyman. He was a florist. He was a cab driver, for lack of a better word. He was, I guess, a chauffeur. A chauffeur sounds more, status. Has more status.
He wrote something. He wrote his dissertation on something, and I don't think they really went deep into it. But when they do show him for the first time, he's like at a microscope. Was he a scientist?
I don't know. Perhaps. I guess that's
they were in their greenhouse, and he was like, "These ones look good."
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I do know that there is a point where this florist does not know how to make a floral arrangement on the table, and she does it for him. And I was like,
that bothered me. That doesn't make sense. Like, here's the thing, because he moved there to help Aunt Mary. So I don't think he was really a florist. That's why I think he's a scientist of botanical gardens. And I think he just was there helping her make sure that these Jingle Bell flowers grew.
So you gave him an 8. Had he said, "Back off, man, I'm a scientist," would that have bumped him to a 9?
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
9. If he quoted Ghostbusters, we'd go off the Richter scale.
Thank you so much for watching. David Dritsas, where can we see you?
Well, on Zoom again for a show called Trash Puppets, which Comedy Sports Philadelphia is producing. So it's a bunch of friends who get together. We send each other random junk and we have to make puppets out of it. And and then we do like little performances with it, and we get let the audience vote for that. So that will be on the 11th, the 18th, and then a matinee show on the 20th.
Awesome. And you can get tickets at csctix.com, which is below here. And Briana, where can we see you?
Well, next I'm assistant directing 1812's production of This Is the Week That Is. So
awesome.
Check out whenever.
And you can check out the link below for that as well. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight.
Thank you guys. This was a hoot and a holler.